What's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I will show you an AI automation that acts as your Gmail or email assistant and basically sorts through your emails, categorizes them, and basically prepares responses and even replies in threads to those people that send you emails. So whatever it is, maybe it's clients, maybe it's even your family, whatever. So it really depends on the use case that you have, but I'm going to show you the basics and how to build the assistant step by step, how to implement OpenAI and the whole automation, and then you can follow apply this for any type of business or any type of use case that you want. But if you do have any questions about this build or about anything else, I will leave a link to a form down below through where you can reach out to me and ask questions about automation or whatever you have in mind. So yeah, so that being said, let's just jump straight into my computer. I'm gonna show you how I'm building this email agent step by step. So the first thing that you're gonna need is make.com account. So hopefully you have make.com account. If you don't, then just sign up. It's an alternative to Zapier if you haven't used it. But the tools that I'm gonna be using today, so it's gonna be the make.com for automation. Then we're gonna have OpenAI. I'm gonna show you which assistants that I built and the prompts that I wrote, exactly everything step by step. And then the next thing is just gonna be Gmail inbox. And that's it for the tools. So pretty much it's, it could be almost free automation except for, OpenAI. Before we jump into the video itself, I'm just gonna show you quickly how the whole flow is gonna go. And it's quite straightforward, but this can be turned into a lot more complex use cases. But for example, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a module to watch emails. Then when the email comes in, we will use OpenAI to categorize emails. And we're gonna have two categories. So one category is gonna be for those emails that OpenAI has an answer, and OpenAI will have answers based on the database that we provide. So for example, if let's say we have a company and we have an FAQ section, we can provide that FAQ sections to ChatGPT, and based on that, ChatGPT or OpenAI can tell us the answers and respond to clients. So for example, what this module is going to do is just going to categorize those emails. So let's say if we have an FAQ and if we have a response in the FAQ, what we're going to do is that we're going to pass on the information further on, and this is going to be a responder assistant from OpenAI. So that means that we have an answer for the question that client is asking, we pass it on to another module, this one generates the response, then this one basically sends the response and applies the label in Gmail, so your inbox would be clean and without a lot of nonsense or whatever. And if let's say the categorization decides that there is no clear answer that OpenAI has in the database or has amongst the FAQ, then it just applies a label and basically indicates that let's say human response is needed. So let's say it doesn't find an answer, and that way you can go by yourself through the those that haven't been responded by AI. So this is how the automation is gonna go. And now let's jump into building it. So as you can see, I have a fresh account just for you guys. It's clean, it's fresh without any other builds. So let's say AI automation, email assistant. Yeah, I'm quite slow typer as always. So the first module that we're gonna add is gonna be a Gmail module and watch emails. So if you're using, let's say, Make for the first time, what you're gonna need to do first of all is to add connection. I already added my connection here, but all you have to do is just go to add, sign in with Google, and that's pretty much it. You will have to authorize it and you can build the automation. So the folder that we're gonna pick is gonna be the inbox. So we're gonna be watching all incoming emails in the inbox. For filter, we select simple filter, and for criteria, let's select all emails. And mark email message as read and fetched. No. Yeah, and then for maximum number of results, let's just stick with 1. And we can do from now on. So we're gonna send later on an example and we're gonna check how it works. But now, since you saw the whole automation, now we have to build an assistant in OpenAI, because when the email comes in, we need to categorize it somehow. And this is where the assistants come in. So the first assistant that I created was like categorization assistant, and it has like this prompt. You are a helpful customer support agent who works at a slipper e-commerce store. You will be receiving emails from clients with questions about product and store. Your job is to categorize the questions that you receive. If you can find the answer to the client's question in the FAQ file, return a result positive. If you can't find the answer to the client's question in the FAQ file, return a result negative. Don't include any information in the responses, and don't include source information in the response. So the prompt is quite simple. So let's just create the assistant from scratch so you know how to do it. And for the rest of the build, we're going to use everything the same. So the name, let's say categorization assistant. For the prompt, I'm going to copy the same prompt, put it into instructions, the model. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the GPT 4o, and for file search. So this is very important. So in order for OpenAI to answer those questions or to categorize, it has to have a database. And for a database, what we're gonna give it is this basically FAQ. So for example, again, it's about slippers. So the question, do they fit big or small? There's an answer. Question, do they cure foot pain? Answer, and so on. So what we have to do is just upload the file in here. Let's say click upload file, then go to desktop, FAQ, open. We're uploading it, attach it. And basically that's it. We have the prompt, we have the name, we have the model, and we have the file search enabled. So at this point, the categorization assistant already is going to be able to work. So let's go back to make, and right now add a module OpenAI message assistant. Right, so now I'm gonna select the assistant that I had. For some reason it just loads a bit slower today. So I'm just gonna select the original one. So it's the categorization assistant. The role is gonna be user. The message, we're gonna send the text content from the Gmail. And important thing is that for tools choice, enable file search. That way we're able to go through the database that we just added on the OpenAI side. And again, if you don't have the connection, so yeah, it's quite simple, quite straightforward. Just go through, press online help, and it's going to show all the explanations how to enable the connection for OpenAI. But let's just click OK. Let's just rename it into what is categorization. So it's going to be categorization assistant. And let's just give it a try. Yeah, let's send the email to myself. Subject, new slippers. And the question is, why are they so hard? Send. Now let's run the automation. And it should return positive. Of course, it's like, because this should be in the FAQ. And now I hope that it returns positive. So let's go. And the result is positive. So it works as we expected. We can also maybe write some kind of a nonsense. Let's say, yeah, test and what's the question? What should we ask? How much for the flights? Send. And in this case, since the question itself doesn't make much sense, it should return negative. So how much for the flights? It should return negative. Yes, it returned negative. So great. So now we're categorizing the emails as we want. So first thing that we're gonna do is now we're gonna apply label to the negative emails. And again, I'm gonna remove this just to show quickly what I just pressed. So go to the flow control and then router. So now you're gonna be adding a router. And for this, we're gonna add a filter, which we're gonna name negative. So in the condition, we're gonna add the result of OpenAI and text operators contains word negative. So if we don't have, let's say, the answer in the database, it's gonna go through this route as negative. And the following thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna modify the label in Gmail so that later on, for example, when our customer support agent has time, he can go through the emails that weren't responded by AI manually and give the responses by himself. So, you know, this basically outsources half of the work from, let's say, regular person or even more than that. So what we're gonna give to the modify email labels module is the message ID. So this is the Gmail message ID and labels to add. So customer support, human response is needed. So let's go back. As you can see, I have labels created over here and human response is needed is the second label. So just add this, and next time when such email comes in, what it's gonna do is just gonna apply label to that email, and then customer support agent, let's say, comes back, he sees that, okay, 90, let's say, emails were responded by AI, and then other like few were not responded, and it's left for that person to respond. So cool, we have the negative route, we have that solved. Now let's add the positive. And positive is gonna be, again, we select the result, then we select contains and positive. It's important to not misspell anything. But now, since if we have the answer in the database, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna provide the email to another assistant, and another assistant is named FAQ responder. So the message, we're gonna give the message the text content from email, and we're also gonna enable the file search in tool choice. Click OK, and then we can rename as responding. Bam. And maybe we can just save it just in case. So we have everything. And let's just go quickly through the responding assistant prompt. So it goes like this. You are a helpful customer support agent who works at a slipper e-commerce store. Your name is Jack. You will be receiving emails from clients with questions about the product and store. Your job is to answer those questions that you receive based on information in the FAQ file. Please respond as Jack. Keep the tone of your answer simple, positive, and informal. Respond in HTML format. Don't include source information or backticks. And I added basically this HTML is for formatting. So the answers are, you know, just formatted nicely in Gmail. Don't include source information because, for example, what OpenAI likes to do is that it likes to give you, let's say, the line at which it found the answer to the client's question, which is, you know, it immediately shows that it's AI who is responding. And backticks is just because for some reason OpenAI sometimes like to wrap things in backticks. But now we have an AI that's able to respond to a message when it finds the answer in the database. So let's delete these two questions and let's send a new one just to test it out. So let's say the fit. Do they fit big? And as you can see, since we already have, let's say, the answers in the database, the questions don't actually have to be exact as what is in FAQ. So it's really good because, you know, then AI can respond in different variations of questions, even though if the person is asking the same thing. And then, you know, your customer support agent or you, if you're building this for yourself, don't have to answer as many emails manually. So let's just send it, the fit. Now let's go back. Yeah, so we have it and then run once. So what should happen is that category should be positive because we have the answer in database, and it should go through this route, and this module should generate us a response. So again, these modules are going to take a bit more time because it's OpenAI. So we have to, you know, make an API call, it gets back to us and so on and so forth. But what's cool about Make that you don't have to worry about API calls or anything like that, because everything happens in the background. You just select fields and that's pretty much it. Cool, so we have the response and we have the answer. So hey there, our slippers do fit a bit bigger so that you can have the they, them. Oh, it's interesting. We're gonna see what's the response full because I can't see it. Oh yeah, I can drag it. So do fit bigger so that you can have the option to wear them with socks. If you are a half size and we don't have yours available, it's best to size down. Keep in mind that our slides are open-toed and can cover a range of sizes. So great, we got a pretty cool, you know, response. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a module from email, and this time it's not Gmail module, but it's gonna be an email module, and this is necessary because what I noticed that if you're gonna do this with Gmail, you can't really reply in the same thread with Gmail because it doesn't have an option. But with an email module in Make, which is, you know, send an email, you can actually send a reply in the same thread, which is very convenient, and it makes the whole conversation just flow a lot more naturally, and it's not as obvious that, you know, AI is replying, and actually not obvious at all. So the recipient, for the recipient, we're gonna pick the original sender, so that's gonna be my email address. Subject, we're going to enter reply or RE, and then the subject. And the funny thing is that this is required to reply in the same thread. Without these two letters, it might be that you're not going to reply to the person in the same thread. So it's important to include these two little letters. And that we're gonna have it in the thread. Then for content type, so we pick HTML because we instructed AI to give the response in HTML. For content, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick the result from OpenAI. And the last and the most important thing is gonna be go to the in reply to and select from headers basic under the Gmail watch emails, message ID. Because again, if you're not selecting message ID, you're gonna send just a separate email and not into the same thread, which is quite confusing, you know, if you're getting a reply from I don't know, customer support or whatever, or from yourself. And then the last thing that we're missing from an example is modify email labels. So because this is a positive route and AI already have the answer, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick again Gmail message ID. So it is just important to pick Gmail message ID and not the message ID from email module, because Gmail message ID and the message ID from email module are two different things, believe it or not. So it's not gonna work if you're gonna pick this one. And labels to add is, so customer support responded by AI. If we go here, this is the label where the email is gonna be applied or appear, whatever. As you can see, I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm struggling a bit, but I'm trying, I'm doing my best. Yeah, so we basically have the whole build done. So let's just save it and let's do 2 tests. So let's delete this one. And again, let's ask Eustace, the fit, do they fit? No, let's ask something else. Why are they so hard? I think there's a response for that. So send it. Let's go back and run it. I'm nervous, guys. No, I just can't speak for long. For some reason, my voice starts, going lower and lower and lower, and I start losing it. But basically, AI is right now categorizing the message. If we have it in the database, positive. If we don't have it, negative. Then it's generating the response based on the data that we have. It's generating, thinking of what to answer. Then it sends the email and applies the label. So if we go back, now we see that if we go to the responded by AI and this email, I can see that there was a question, why are they so hard? And there is an answer, but what I did probably bad is that oh yeah, so which one I selected? Responder. Okay, for some reason the OpenAI didn't listen to me and didn't provide the output in HTML. So maybe we can run another test, which is responder, and we can copy this thing, or no. Yeah, maybe remove the dot, but I don't think that's gonna help. But basically what it should have happened is that it should have replied in HTML, and it didn't. But we can see that, we have the answer and is here and it says best Jack and so on, applied the correct label. So now it's just, the matter of modifying the prompt and testing it out, running it multiple times. Maybe we can, send another email, see how it goes. And then run it again and just see how the automation goes. But so this was the issue of OpenAI. So in such situations, then what you have to do is check the prompt, modify it, optimize it, and monitor it so it never returns a response. And the best thing to do is just give the prompt an example. In this case, I'm a bit lazy, so I just said respond in HTML, don't include source information or backticks. But the best thing to do is to provide an example of how exactly an OpenAI should respond. But let's see, we got another one. So it replied in the same thread, and again, yeah. So what I need to do right now is optimize the prompt to basically have it working correctly. So yeah, this is how it works. And as you can imagine, this can be used in many different situations as a customer support agent assistant replying to your clients about FAQs. I actually had someone asking this to be replying to questions about from real estate companies. So that was quite interesting. So it could be used in many different situations. And then, once you build something like that, all you have to do is just, optimize the prompts very, very clearly. And in my case, you saw that, just because I was lazy, the response was not exactly what I expected. But then in other cases, it was giving, a response that you can, have with HTML. So yeah, from me, that's about it. Again, if you have any questions about automations, if you want to build maybe something together, I have a form down below. So you can reach out to me, ask questions, and we can figure something out together. If you enjoyed watching this video, give a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.